For a long time, people thought that constraints were bad for creativity. So if you think about the creative person or the creative activity, you think, oh, you should be totally unconstrained, give them unlimited time, unlimited amounts of money just to do whatever it is they want to do. But that idea had started to be challenged. If we give people a small budget, a medium-sized budget, or an open-ended budget, basically, what happens to their creative problem solving? Well, I'm Dr. Kelsey Medeiros. I am an industrial organizational psychologist and assistant professor of psychology here at UTA Arlington. My research focuses on a really niche area of creativity. It's the relationship between constraints and creative problem solving. I want to understand this relationship between constraints and creativity and understand how leaders of creative efforts can best manage the introduction and removal of constraints to improve creativity. When we think about creativity, we tend to associate it with idea generation. But what we know about creative problem solving is that there's all this other stuff involved. So you have to be able to identify the problem, gather information that's relevant to it before we even begin generating ideas. Then once we generate, we have to be able to evaluate those ideas, right? To say, did they actually solve the problem? Are they effective? Are they creative? What are the long-term consequences of implementing this idea? And then once we do that, then we actually have to go about implementing it, which is a whole other process, right? And then you have to monitor it once it gets out into the market and say, is this still working? How have conditions changed? Do we need to adjust? So you need a leader who is willing to encourage creativity, who's willing to allow their employees to take risks, but also who's able to manage those constraints and to kind of balance those two things. You have to create an environment where a team feels comfortable sharing and debating ideas with one another and not taking that personally. I would say when you don't have that, that can really hinder the creative process. We can train people on all of those processes, right? We can help them better identify problems. We can help them learn to scan the environment to know what kind of information should I be looking for in the market from my competitors. If you're an undergraduate and you're interested in these areas, I would say get involved in a research lab. I have a lab with about 15 students in it, and we have so much fun, and they get to see the process and learn about the topic as well. And I think it uncovers, for undergraduates, a lot of myths, and it changes the way they think about research and these topics as well. So if you're interested in working in my lab, you can go to the psychology department website and find my information. But you can also go to my personal website, which is kelseymedeiros.com, and you can go to the EcoLab page where it has all kinds of information about how to apply and what we're doing and the projects we're working on. Have you heard of Research Wahlberg?
No.
Oh, he's the best. So it's Mark Wahlberg, and they put all these really cheesy statistic jokes. That's a good one to check out.
All right.